In general, marital property has to be divided. The court does this equitably. That doesn't necessarily mean equally, but it does mean generally pretty close to equally. So if a business is found to be marital property, meaning it was earned during the marriage, it was started during the marriage, in my example, maybe even marital money was put into it. Maybe one spouse owns the business, spouse A, but that doesn't mean that spouse B doesn't have a marital interest in it. And a marital interest means that half of that value in my example, that value, not the business itself, belongs to spouse B. So, how does that break down? Let's say I started a business out of my home during my marriage. And I don't know, this business, I'm selling pens. All right. So I'm selling these pens out of my home during my marriage. And at the time of my divorce, my pen business is now worth $400,000. Awesome. We had a business valuator, it is worth $400,000. And I say to my spouse, you don't get any of my pen business. I worked really hard on it. I did all the things. Sucks to be you. Well, if my spouse hired a good attorney, they're going to say, Christy, sucks to be you because you now have to come up with $200,000 to give your spouse to buy out their marital interest. Maybe I have to give them $200,000 more in equity from our home, or maybe I have to pull it out of retirement, or maybe I have to pay them in chunks over time. But if I started this pen business that is worth $400,000 during my marriage, that means my spouse contributed. That means my spouse maybe was covering for me while I was working those late nights. Maybe my spouse took care of any kids that we had, or maybe my spouse cleaned up the house or just supported me and provided emotional support because a marriage itself is a business. I'd say that all the time. Marriage itself is a business and it is a financial contract. And part of it is that we take care of each other and we each walk away with approximately half of the marital pie at the end of our marriage.